Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please note the required risk disclosure. Welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Tuesday, January 24th. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries significant risks and should only be attempted with funds that you can afford to be without. All right. Starting off a new week. Yesterday was a nice trading day. Regular schedule this week. Please do say hello in the chat. And good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Bob. And good morning, Miles. Jeff, you saw the time change on CEO Trader Mastermind to 12:30 today. All right. Good morning, Arshad. Okay, we got a few minutes, so let's take a look at crude this morning. Crude is actually in its first trade of the morning. It didn't get a trade until 12 minutes after the hour. Missed this down move, but now it's in the returning up move. Almost 9:13 before that set up. Plenty of time to get in it. It's both targets, 39 ticks. That would complete the trade unless you're running a trailing position. Currently, the trailer is at 81.59. So that one's done, and we'll just let that one run. Unleaded gas. Our first trade was a get in sync with the long that set up a minute and a half before our start time, and just went back and forth right there below the slightly above. Never actually. Let's see. Yeah, we had actually one close just barely above the 50 EMA, but then so we go from 67.92 to 67.79, 4-ticket back stop and reverse adjustment from 84, and one more tick for the key level. So 5-tick adjustment, we pick up 23 for target 1 traders, 39 for target 2, and we go from 79 to 17 on the trailer. So 62 ticks on the trailer and a one and done session. And we're within a minute of market open now, about 20 seconds. YM has gone too far in that trade, so that trade is off the table. And the market is open, looking for, and we have a long setup on the soybeans trade. Not terribly fast this morning, sitting at right at session highs, and we're also not moving very much. Not many bars, because that's yesterday evening's open right there. Not a whole lot. And there's a long on the YM. Definitely time to get into that. Trying to push up through the 20 SMA at the moment. The Russell, yeah, the Russell was too fast and it was a break even anyway. And let's see, micro NQ will come up here in a few minutes, but I'll go ahead and bring that up. All right, YM did hit target 1. $24 ticks and stopping out at 562 from the entry at 558. So 28 ticks, one and done on the YM this morning. We did have a trade on the pound Aussie this morning, 853. The short trade there showing went too far before our start time, so our first trade was the long. That hit target 1 for 17 pips. Spread was running about 4, so your net was about 13 from 75.16, and we stopped out at 75.19. So you lose 1 pip times 4 positions, including spread. You end up with a 9 pip net and a one and done session. So minimal win, but that's enough to get us done for the session. All right, still waiting our 4 minutes on the MNQ. Nothing, no new trades on the Russell yet. And good morning, Pamela. So we already have crude, unleaded, the YM, and the pound Aussie done. And actually, the MNQ is still that's still a get in sync trade. If we get to 8:34 exchange time, my charts are in Eastern, so they're showing 9:30 at 9:30 at the moment. Currently 10 seconds to, and we're in our session now. Now we're in our session on the micro NQ 12-point Renko bar, 3-point offset. And soybeans hitting target 1. That's the 5th market that's going to be POQ, trailing at 15.02 even. And that is a 12-tick target. Didn't quite make target 2. And there's an entry to the long trade on the MNQ and the stop out of soybeans. So 15.02 from 01.25. So we get 3 times 3 positions, 21 ticks on the morning, one and done. Nothing big today, but success. All right, the MNQ trying to decide if it's going to make an up move after spending the morning headed downward. The pre-market's headed downward. The Russell with a short trade, definitely time to get in that. That is the micro Russell on a 1.5 point 15 tick Renko bar. These are micro Russell and micro NQ are both catapult charts. Soybeans is counterpunch, and the rest that we've looked at are spotlight. So we have the MNQ long and the micro Russell short. Yeah. So we'll have to see where things go. Looks like it's, and there we just hit money management. Yeah, money management on the micro NQ. Stop comes to 869.25. And a short trade on the MNQ. We did stop out for break even, and probably it looked like you should have had time to get into that on the MNQ. The Russell hitting targets 3 and 4, trailing at 87.1 at the moment. That first trade was too fast to have caught. And stopping out at 87.1 on the micro Russell. Win number 1, long trade on the Russell, 88.1. Time, should have had time to get in that if I had time to talk about it. And the MNQ looking like it's heading for a full stop out on this one. Yep, MNQ is a loss and a long setup. And triggering in. Time, lots of time there. We need one more tick to get to money management. We just hit target 1 on the Russell, but was 1 tick away from minimum of 14 ticks required to come for break even. So full risk still on there. And looking like things are getting a little bit noisy here. Some back and forth action. So we'll see if it can resolve. Good morning, Trader Man. And we're long in both the Russell and the MNQ. This time they're in, and last time they were in sync too. We just didn't go far enough on the MNQ. This may be a day that 6-point bar might be better on the MNQ. But we're working with the 12, so you stick with your trade plan. So we have a break even and a loss, and there is another break even on the MNQ at least, and it stops out at break even. So 2 break evens, 1 loss. YM with a fast up move, double bottom there. MNQ, sawtooth character to the market this morning. And we did get money management on the Russell, so that's, yeah, the stop moved up to now let's see, the stop will move to 88.2. And actually, I believe we just, yeah, we stopped out. We hit 88.2, so that's a break even there. Calculator's still tracking, so if you're trading it and weren't filled, the MNQ is still, I'm sorry, the M2K Russell still active. And actually, if you didn't move your stop intra-bar, you would still be in this trade on the Russell. Our normal operating mode is moving the stop to break even intra-bar when money management is reached. The calculator doesn't do that, can't do that, because it only operates on the close of a bar. But if you do that, you take the risk of getting a losing trade out of a break even. And target 3, so that if you're following by the calculator and don't move your stop until you get a bar close, then that is a winning trade. Stop at 88.4. For win number 2. And about 15 minutes to the 10 a.m. crude session. Regular crude oil inventory session tomorrow. And now we head rapidly back the other way, stopping out of the Russell. At the moment, it's getting sync. It was too fast to trade. And now we're back in a long again. The short was definitely too fast to trade. And the long is a full loss. Now, what did we get on the MNQ since I was watching the Russell? Yeah, that was the short was too fast, and the long, I'm going to bet that the long was too fast too, because the triggering bar was just 1 second. The Russell, I was watching that enough to know that that is a full loss on the long, because we did have time to get into that. Now the question becomes, and a long on the MNQ. $9.05 even. And there's money management. 905.25 for the trailing stop. Now the question is, can we get a solid move upward and get some targets? All right. This is a good time for questions or comments. We've only got 2 active charts right now, and that's the 2 catapult charts. Everything else is currently POQ. We got about 11 minutes to wait before the 10 a.m. mini session on crude. And the market's deciding whether they're going to go up or down. All right. For okay, what strategy are you using, Arshad? Okay, there you go, SPT. All right, let's see if I've got that on here. No, that's Catapult. Those actually, I believe, are going to be, and that's the hard one. I haven't got any settings for the currently for the Russell on Catapult on Spotlight. We originally were using an eight tick momentum bar or 0.8 momentum bar for TradeStation, but that got to be too fast when things got so terribly volatile around the beginning of COVID, and we really haven't settled on a new chart to use. But basically, it's other than figuring out what brick size, the default calculator is pretty much what we use on the RTY. Okay, looking like one somewhere in the area 1.2 to 1.5, 1.6 is probably about the place you want to be right now. But neither Troy nor I have actually gone back and done testing on something new. But yeah, the only adjustments I would make that I would personally make would be change the crossover filter to 8 bars rather than 20. And I think that's really the only thing. All right, MNQ, target 2 win. And trailer starting at 919 3/4 now. Still no more no new trades on the Russell yet since the loss on the long. I will warn you that the first quarter is usually, or has in the past been, a little tough on the Russell. It really doesn't usually hit its stride until late April, early May. And yeah, that I would expect. I wouldn't expect you to get 100 sessions out of a 3 month. And well, we're basically fairly early in the current contract. The time to switch for the indices, you can look at your volumes and see when the volumes switched, but the good rule of thumb is the 12th, March the 12th, or December 12th. You'd roll from the December to the March contract. March 12th, you'd roll to the June contract, etc. That's going to be a pretty good approximation of when the volume tends to roll. Target 3 on MNQ, 931 1/4, and stopping out. All right, that helps us a lot. That will get us back. That should get us back to even, or maybe just a little bit positive. One loss. Two losses. Two break evens. That's 4 trades. That was trade number 5, and we've got a short now. I didn't look at how quickly that went through. We've got shorts on both. 6 seconds on the Russell and 11 seconds. Yeah, the Russell probably got in, and that's a winning trade. The MNQ. I would say chances are we didn't get into that trade on the MNQ. That was a little bit too fast. Russell, strong down move now. All 3 markets, all 3 of our indices. No, it's 12:30 Eastern. Oh, here. Was it 1:30? Yeah. Okay. That may have been right. You may be right. I was just going off of memory. I saw that last night. But yeah, go by what the email says, and it's the email is Eastern. Sorry about that. Depends on your capitalization to some extent, Arshad. Those are the official rollover. The 12th is the official rollover date. It's not the last day to trade, but it is the rollover date. All right, coming up on big move on the Russell and on the NQ, and we're coming up to the 10 a.m. crude session. Either the YM or crude would be good, but yeah, test in that first quarter and take a look at it. First quarter to first 4 months, and just see what your results look like. See if there's enough of a positive expectation in the Russell. You may have to go back. Now, you probably can't get last year's data. Okay, notice magenta bar crossover filter is now off, so we can take long trades off of this. If we get up above the balance line, that will give us a long. And we are in the 10 a.m. session. Okay, long on crude, and that's already gone through both targets. 21 and 32. So, yep, should have had time to get into that. I was focused on my charts. Doing my own trading. All right, the Russell stopped out. The MNQ is still in that short trade that went too fast for us to get into. $10 a.m. crude in the long. And that did hit both targets. So another 39 ticks on that session. One, two. That was a no trade. That was a loss. That was 3. That was 4. We got 3 wins. We can need one more win or 2 more losses or one more win, and we're done on the Russell. And stopping out on crude. And the MNQ still in the short that we're not participating in because it went too fast. Crude is done. One more potential trade. And there is the short on the Russell. And that quick, we get to money management. And that is the reason that we move our stop intra-bar. Stop out at 84.1. Entry was at 84.2. Still hasn't closed out that bar, but it definitely would have stopped out on moving the stop intra-bar. Looks like the micro Russell is at session lows, as is the MNQ, and finding some support there. And the MNQ stopping out, so we can look for our one last trade there. And yep, that Russell trade was a break even. And now we get a long trade on both the Russell and the MNQ. Russell had time to get in, and the MNQ I would say we had like a 13-second bar. So I would say we're in that trade as well. There's win number 4 on a trade number 6. Or not? Well, we're to money management. 86.7 for the trailing stop. Need target 3. This is the last trade for that plan. So the last trade for both of those plans currently in process. All right, the Russell gets the winner. Hitting target 3, trailing at 86.9. Was that's okay? Yeah. Are you're on? I'm not running the spotlight on that Russell chart. That's a catapult. That's why T1 was 13 ticks. So yeah, it's two different strategies. You're looking at spotlight, and I've got. catapult running. So that's the difference. And we got target 3 and 4 and trailing at 89.2 now. And we have hit money management on the MNQ trade, 89.7 for the Russell stop. So it looks like going to be positive on both of those. Looks to me like we're going to be POQ on, or we're definitely going to be positive on all the charts that I'm looking at this morning. So I would call that a good morning. Yeah, 89.9 for the Russell. Still 869 and a quarter break even stop for MNQ. And those are our last two trades of the morning. So. Oh, okay. You're talking about the crude chart. Yeah, I've got 16 on this one. Oh, let's see, the one that we were looking at here. That's 15 on that one. But yeah, Diamond didn't. None of these. The only things about Diamond trades would be the dark blue or the red trade. That, all right, dark blue or the magenta trade that come up on my chart, would be the only differences with Diamond level. You are running the 8-tick or 0.08 cent momentum bar now. Okay, yours was 24. Now target 2 is 24. Yeah, the 10 a.m. trade, this trade right here. Yeah, I've got 15 ticks to target 1, 24 ticks to target 2. Okay. Minimum distance to, or minimum ticks to trail or break even, it should be 10 on crude. That's about the only change to the default. Some of it will depend on exactly where you. But yeah, that's where your exhaustion dot's at 83. Oh, wait a minute. 8. Whoa, back up. Yeah, 80, 83. Yeah, that's where my exhaustion dots were. And where was your entry? Oh, I bet I know what it is. Yeah, Okay, that's probably because yours was entry was right up here at 81.11 or 81.13. Yeah, 81.13. The reason it did that is because this bar actually was right on the balance line and on my chart, which probably means there's some slight rounding. That's how mine got over the balance line. My trade just showed up one bar earlier. That's why yours is considerably larger. And with the larger trade, you would have gotten money management, but you would not have gotten target. Actually, you may not even have gotten money management. Yeah, I knew from what you were telling me you were on TradeStation. All right, the MNQ finally did stop out of the long trade. That ends its session at 916 even, 916 flat. Targets 2, 3, and 4 there. And Russell is there, and the Russell just stopped out at 94.9. So those both finishing, and those both should get both of those markets positive today. So in that case, yeah, you probably had to take this short, which that's a stop and reverse, very slightly positive actually. You take that and you get target 1, and that's your POQ. Yep, you didn't get money management, so you did a stop and reverse on the short. The yellow short should have been at 81.04. So you lose 2 ticks, 4 ticks net, but you pick up. Now this one should be the same because it pulled through. But that's the reason, that very tight cross on the balance line, just some rounding difference, and it just doesn't take but just a tick or two here and there to get the difference between your data. It's just a matter of where that trade showed up on the chart. Mine showed up one bar earlier, so that's why the smaller trade. But you still should have gotten POQ because you would have gone 81.04 for your stop and reverse. That went to target 1. Would have been 15 ticks, and you would have stopped out at 81.01 for another 3. So you got 18 ticks. Less the 4 you lost. So 14 tick net, and you're still POQ. Let's see if we can take a... You can see how that line, the dotted green line, came right through the top of that bar. If you're in a trade, typically if we're in a trade, unless you have a reason that you have to act, that your schedule is such that you have to leave at 11:30, leave your charts at 11:30. Typically, if you're in a trade, we'll stay with the trade till it finishes. You just stop taking trades at that time, unless you're in a situation where you have a trade where you have a hard stop time that you have to stop trading. No, stop and reverse would just be an exit point. You wouldn't take because that's a new trade, but you would take it as an exit point from the existing trade. Same adjustments. You just wouldn't put in the reversing order. You just move your stop to that point, but not not put in the reversing order. But if you look at that bar on your chart, it's probably just below the balance line. Or it may be, but the balance line is showing at 8103. And the bar closed at 8103. That's it. So that's the difference in our two trades. Not eagle eyes. It's just understanding the strategy. Looking at that, I know that's one of those places where we'll get some differences. Many session times for crude are 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, and 1:30. 1 to 2:30. Now, you don't necessarily have to. I don't trade all of those. I typically just trade the 9 and 10 a.m. sessions. Yes. Crude is traded out of New York, so that the exchange times are all Eastern times for crude. No problem. You're quite welcome, Neil. All right, then. Do we have more questions? Everything is done and everything is positive this morning. There's usually at least one that doesn't cooperate. But this is one of those mornings where everything worked. May not have been large gains, but everything was positive. So unless folks have questions, I am going to call it a morning. You're quite welcome. Arshad, Jeff, everybody have a good afternoon, good rest of your day. And we will see you tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Time regular session, and then 10:30 Eastern for the crude oil inventory report tomorrow. And Neil, obviously with the crude oil inventory report at 10:30 typically on Wednesday at 10:30. Wednesdays when we do have a crude oil inventory report, we don't trade the 10 a.m. session for obvious reasons. Now, when it's moved to Thursday, it moves back to 11. So yes, I typically do trade the 10 a.m. session, and then I end up trading the 11 a.m. session as well because of the crude oil inventory report. Just don't start until 2 minutes after. You're most welcome, Trader Man, Miles, Pamela. And we will see everybody. I'll see Jeff, Pamela, and maybe William in the CEO Trader Mastermind session. Note the new time from Troy's email today. I believe Jeff said that's going to be 1:30. I have to go back and look at my email. Everybody have a good one. We will see you later.